Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I call this meeting to order on this Tuesday, July the 22nd, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District Number 35 Governing Board Room, District Office 570 Camino Galito Galindo, Rio Rico, Arizona. Can we please stand for the pledge? Mr. Beach, please will you help?
Yes. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Seated. Okay, roll call. Ms. Alma de la Riva. Mr. Ben Guerrero. Mr. Rene Ramirez. Absent. Mr. Brad Beach.
Present.
And I'm Lourdes Vasquez. We have a quorum. Thank you. Moving on, adoption of the agenda, Mr. Verdugo.
I'd just like to request that we remove item 2, executive session. There is no need for that tonight.
All righty, okay. Recommended action, motion to approve the agenda as presented, removing section number 2.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Okay, ayes have it, motion passes. Next subject is call to the public. No call to the public. Righty, moving on, presentation. Subject, Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District Number 35, Aquatic Center Lifeguard Recognition. Mr. Verdugo.
Thank you. This year was the first year that we actually had our pool open. And so we would like to, as we're coming to the end of the summer season, wanted to recognize all of our lifeguards for all of their work that they've been receiving positive information from parents, really happy about the swim lessons and the pool itself. So we had to turn over to Audra, who will just kind of give a brief introduction about the lifeguards and then nice.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Madam President, governing board members, Mr. Verdugo, Dr. Lunderville, and Mrs. Brown, and guests, most importantly, our parents here, right? I'm here today to recognize a truly outstanding group of individuals, a group of employees who have gone above and beyond in their roles over the past 2 months. As many as you know, as Mr. Verdugo mentioned, this summer marked a major milestone for SCV 35, the full-time opening of our aquatic center to the public for the very first time. With that came great responsibility, and our incredible team of 25 lifeguards rose to the occasion. Throughout the summer, these dedicated individuals have done far more than just watch over the pool. They've helped ensure that our patrons had a safe and enjoyable experience, taught essential swimming skills to children, all while making them feel confident and comfortable in the water, and provided vigilant supervision during private pool rentals as well. Thanks to the unwavering support of our governing board members and district administration, we were able to reach remarkable milestones. This summer alone, over 515 children registered for swimming lessons, and more than 1,700 individuals visited the aquatic center in just the last 2 months. To our lifeguards, your professionalism, your patience, and commitment to safety have made this program a success. Your work has created lasting memories for our community and laid the foundation of many more summers to come. Thank you all for your exceptional service. I truly appreciate it, and it was an honor to work with all of you, and I hope many of you come back for next summer as well. Thank you. So all of our lifeguards will be getting some goodies and some certificates later on, but we are going to recognize the ones that are present here today in person. So I'm actually going to have each of them just stand up, say their name, wave, and then you can hi guys. It's okay. So just say hi to your parents, say hi to the governing board members. You guys are the ones that have been, protecting the community, and so we all just really want to say thank you for everything that you guys have done. Okay, and then I'll just have you guys come over, and you can grab some goodies. Okay, we'll start with Anna, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna, and I was really happy to be able to have this opportunity and work with the district and Audra, most importantly, who's been a wonderful boss. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Francisco Pacheco, and it was really good working with all of these guys.
Hi everyone, I'm Vanessa, and I especially like teaching all the little kids, just seeing how much they grew over the months. So, yeah.
We'll hire you.
Say something. Can they give us your last name? Mr. Pacheco told us his last name, but the young ladies did not.
Antunes Pino.
Antunes?
Antunes.
Antunes. Okay, and you're?
Vanessa Nicholas.
Nicholas, okay, I just want to know your last name, okay, because family name is very important, okay, to me anyway, but thank you. Continue.
Hi guys, my name is Frank Hernandez. I really like working here. It was my first job and it was a very good experience. Hi, I'm Fernando Campillo and I also really enjoyed working with the little kids and teaching them how to swim. Hopefully they remember and don't drown.
Hi everyone, I'm Hunter. And I just like to say I loved gardening this summer and can't wait for next year.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Cantua. I like being a lifeguard. It's my second year and I'll do it again.
Good.
Hi, I'm Ramon Guzman, and I really like this being my first job. I met a lot of people since I live in Nogales, and but yeah, that's it.
Hi, I'm Anissa. It has been a pleasure watching you guys and seeing your growth along the summer. It was great.
Hi, I'm Maria Tapia. I really enjoyed this job. It's my first job, and thank you, Aja, and thank you to this team.
Hi, I'm Roberto Cota, and I just really enjoy making new friends, coworkers, teaching students, lifeguarding. Everything has just been really special for me, and I can't ask for more.
Hi, I'm Santiago Renteria. I'm very glad I had this job, and in true lifeguard fashion, I can't keep water off.
Good.
So thank you to all of you guys. Thank you families for attending. Many of you guys are employees of the district, so you guys got to see, you know, the beginning of the pool up until what it's become today. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you for letting me work these guys until they were super tired and they came home and they couldn't do anymore. So thank you guys so much. Governing board members, do you guys have any questions that you want to add?
Anybody have anything to say to them?
Yes, thank you and congratulations on your recognition today. As a parent and as a person who never learned how to swim, I know just how important and how confident it made me feel whenever I took my own children swimming, to see a lifeguard there and to know that if anything, you know, God forbid happened, they would be out there, you know, helping and doing everything possible to save my child. It just made me feel very comfortable. So thank you. And yes, we wish to see you all back next summer.
Mr. Guerrero?
Yeah, no, it's great to see this program. As a paramedic with 23 years, I understand the responsibility that comes with something like this. So it's greatly appreciated. You guys had two of the most important things, you know, somebody's life safety and teaching somebody life safety skills. So I commend you guys for that. Great job, and glad you guys all enjoyed it. You guys all look a little tan too, so.
I know. Thank you. Mr. Beach?
Well, the good news so far, no one has drowned.
Thank God.
Good to all you in your training. And I know Audra is very hard to work for. She does push you hard, but thank you, Audra, for all you do for the lifeguards. I remember back when we passed the bond under the direction of Mr. Verdugo in our community, when we spent, I don't know, millions of dollars on this pool. One of it was to bring the community together. And what was the number? 1,700 of our youth used it this year.
Yes.
So it's definitely doing what our taxpayers wanted to do. Thank you for giving our community something to do over the summer. Thank you for allowing our kids to be safe in your hands. And that's a testament of what your job is, like Mr. Guerrero said, the importance of it. I think it was Vanessa, you mentioned the swim lessons. My granddaughter, Ava, I got 5 of them. Ava was so excited. She said, "I want to be a lifeguard when I grow up." So, you know, you guys are her role models, and the importance that those swim lessons did for our community. So just appreciative of all your hard work. And I don't think the pool is closing anytime soon, or we open on the weekends?
We're gonna be open weekends, hopefully. We have we'll talk it over and see when we'll be open to the public. It'll be announced publicly, so we'll know.
So thank all of you guys for doing what you do.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, Mr. Beach. And for me, everything that everybody said, okay? Because they always beat me to it. So, but anyway, but congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And I really like the fact that there are people from our neighboring community that came, and that took advantage of our facilities, so more power to you, the more people that can come to our community, the much better it is, and I heard nothing but good things about with everybody that, oh my God, the pool is this, the pool is that, all the lifeguards are helping us. So you guys are these little kids, like you're their heroes, you're their mentors, so you guys really you have no idea what impact you made in so many of the little kids. Okay. So congratulations to all of you for a great summer. And we hope to see you guys next year exactly again. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
We'll do a group picture with Mr. Verdugo.
Yeah.
Everyone stand up. Stay how you are. We'll face this way so the light is hitting you guys. Mr. Go right on
To blind you.
Shorter people. I mean, you guys need to get together.
The shorter people than
Girls.
You get in it.
I'll get one with just Mr. Verdugo.
Okay. Okay.
Ready?
Okay, parents,
Yes.
parents, take advantage.
Parents, I'll get one group picture. I'll get a couple of them and then I'll move out of the way and you guys can go for it. Okay. All right. Ready? 1, 2.
Meg.
I'm sorry.
You guys. Parents, go first.
Go ahead.
Thanks much.
Really good job. Good job.
Guys, come on over here. Grab a red thing.
One seat.
Things on the top.
So excited.
The two things and then whichever candy and then find your.
What's up, Minnie? Well, yes, where was the other twin? He was the lifer? No?
Didn't make it.
Hey.
You take my stuff.
Thank you very much.
Jonathan? Vanessa? Robert?
That was the winner. No.
You guys get your quick ones? Nothing, honey. You guys are great.
We're done to.
I know. Before you guys leave, thank you, parents.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias a los papás por apoyar a sus hijos a que vengan y aprendan y nos ayuden con la natación y todo. Muchas gracias. Oh, yeah, we'll give them.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. There's that too. All righty. Are we ready? Moving on. Subject B, Superintendent's Report, Mr. Verdugo.
Thank you. Just wanted to mention a few items as we get back to our school year. All new teachers reported yesterday, and so which is very exciting, as well as our long-term substitutes, which is our first time that we've done that. So it's very exciting to have those individuals come in early so they can start their training and get some of the things done, start getting into the classrooms early because the school year is coming fast.
Yes.
So wanted to thank them and all Ms. Belia and her team for all that they're doing to prepare those teachers to get ready for the school year. Also want to thank Angie and her team with Audra with the back to school blitz and all of the principals and teams that participated in the back to school blitz. We had close to 600 families that received supplies. It was great being there. And I haven't been able to be there in a while, and so it was great to be there and see all of the students dragging their backpacks across the floor because they were so full of supplies. I saw one little girl, she kept rocking back and falling down and then walking back up, trying to get back up. And yeah, it was great to see. They were so excited to receive all the supplies, and I want to thank all the community members for all their support because it is truly a community effort for those students to receive all those supplies. So that's it. Thank you.
All righty, thank you very much. Subject C, Governing Board Report, Ms. De La Riva.
Yes, I attended the ASPO conference this past week. I'm gonna say that I really enjoyed it. It was very informative. It was very instructive. I learned, and I especially enjoyed the guest speaker that we had on one of the days. I believe it was Thursday during lunch. He spoke about perseverance and not giving up and not listening to the negative thoughts in your brain, but having, and wait for those positive messages that we always listen, unfortunately, we tend to listen to the negative side, or we listen to the negative comments of other people. He was a good speaker. I learned from him, and I look forward to attending this ASPO conference again next year.
Yes. Yep, thank you very much. Mr. Guerrero.
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Squishy. Mr. Beach.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about the conference we just went to. I always pick up one or two things when I attend these conferences. So this is what I picked up. Mental health still affecting our students. Anxiety, depression, suicide still on the rise. Some of the reasons they listed, bullying was one. Screen time, 4 to 6 hours a day screen time increases it. Food insecurities, healthcare, etc. And this is why I think schools are so important, because in our rural communities, we don't have a lot of resources out there. So our schools are sort of, as Mr. Verdugo has mentioned many times, this is the hub of the community where we do offer healthcare. We do offer after-school programs, sporting programs, our swimming pool, and all those help decrease depression and anxiety. They said those programs, if they get into a program after school, it dramatically decreases. So I'm a big proponent, not only of the regular sports, football, wrestling, track field, volleyball, etc., but I'm a big supporter of clubs, reading club, a walking club, any type of club out there. So get the word out to your teachers. I'm sure we can find funding for them, but definitely push those clubs. Okay. What else? 1 million people have moved into Arizona, but 18-year-old and unders have declined, and they're not looking for that number to increase till 2030. And I know we're dealing with it. Ms. Brown has mentioned that we'll find 200 and something students.
We're projecting 155.
155 at $4,000 roughly a student that the state gives us in funding. So this is having an impact on schools across our state. What else is causing this? Housing shortages, charter and private schools. We're all competing for these students. I always like coming out of Keno Park and I see our Santa Cruz Valley recruitment billboard down there. Our bus going all the way into the Nogales territory. Yep, and bringing students north. But they did talk about branding. And it's so important. Audra, you do an amazing job with our social media out there. And we have to have our brand. You know, our swimming pool, our swim team, that's something other districts don't have. So we have to create a brand, a market, almost like we're marketing our school and recruiting these students. So I thought that was really interesting. Teaching certificates, man. Back in the day, there's only one. Now there's, I think I saw 20 on the piece of paper they gave me. If you want to be a teacher, there's a way they're going to get you in there. One of the certificates that stood out to me was we can recruit out of the U of A, ASU during their student teaching year. So that'd be that last semester. And I thought that was really interesting. You just call it a university professor. You get a student to come down, they student teach, they get paid as a teacher or similar. And then they transition right into becoming a teacher. So some of the challenges there, they don't have they probably have a mentor, but not a student teacher in the classroom with them. So they're sort of flying solo. So I thought that was interesting. I'm not sure if we're tapping into that resource, but I do know a student, Ramiro Lopez from Rio Rico. He's on his student teaching and he graduates in December. So maybe we can recruit him down. Oh, what else? Last thing I thought was pretty cool. I know we have exit interviews for teachers, but they also mentioned having exit interviews for families to address concerns and practices that why are they leaving our district? You know, is it because the parents have to move to get a job, or was it our school? You know, they're just looking for something different. So that's something our administrators out there, if we don't do family exit interviews, maybe give it a shot. Okay, find out some of the reasons why, and maybe we can address those. But overall, great conference, and looking forward to one in September, I think.
Yep, that one's a law one.
Yeah.
A law conferences.
That's all I got. Thank you.
That's all you got? Yeah, everything he said. Yeah, I know. And yeah, also I also attended the ASBO conference, and again, the guest speaker was amazing. I mean, and all of the points that you touched on, okay, you know, were very, 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 very interesting, you know, like how our kids are still suffering because of the pandemic, because they have a mindset that's now different. You know, the parents think that, oh, well, my son doesn't have to go to school because he's got a computer. They don't realize, you know, that one-on-one that we're doing, you know, with the teacher and stuff, how important it is for them. Okay. And another thing is that, you know, the kids, sometimes the parents, you know, the kids have their, you know, their laptop and all that stuff, but the time that they spend on their phones is, I mean, it was an eye opener, you know. You really don't think that they spend that much time. But if these people are doing all these studies and they're seeing what's going on, our kids are really, really addicted to the phone and stuff, you know, and I know some adults are too, okay? But anyway, but yeah, you know, and another thing that would piggyback on the school, you know, like we have so many programs that we offer that a lot of other schools don't, you know, like the dual enrollment, you know, the CTE, you know, all of this stuff. We have, you know, the after school program if our funds get, you know, released, you know, from the state, and hopefully that'll be something that, like you say, you know, and the kids need to be, busy, interested, you know, engaged, not just on their phone, you know, on their, you know, on just life, on just being a kid, you know, just being, and I think that's one of the things like Mr. Beach was saying, you know, we really need to, you know, to really, you know, work on this and make sure that we've got a lot of things for our kids that are interesting to them that will get them, you know, away from their phone and stuff. But, you know, again, really great, conference. I mean, I wish that we could have, you know, more people could go, you know, especially, you know, teachers and stuff like that. And, but, you know, it is what it is, you know, and so anyways, whatever we can do, you know, the absences and all that stuff. Okay. We want to work on all of the things that we need work on for the kids. So, you know, we're all available. Okay. Abuse us. Okay. Please. But anyway, other than that, you know, almost time to start our school year, you know, again, so time flies, really it does. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Moving on, number 4, information, discussion, action subject, 2025-2026 tax rates, Mr. Verdugo.
Thank you. It's at that time of year that we recommend what our tax rate should be for the upcoming tax season. I'm gonna go ahead and turn over to Ms. Brown.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. As Mr. Verdugo mentioned, our role as a school district is just to recommend the tax rate. The responsibility of setting the tax rate is with our Board of Supervisors. So just a little general information about the tax rates that you find in school districts. School districts have two tax rates, or can have two tax rates, right? You have the primary tax rate that provides revenue for levy funds, that is our M&O and capital or major operating funds. And then it also contributes towards our budget limit. In the previous board meeting, you approved the budget limit. And then we determine, well, how much of that budget limit is going to come from local tax rate and how much is going to go from the state. And that's what the role of the primary tax rate is. And then on the other hand, you find a secondary rate. And the secondary rate provides revenue to pay for district initiatives such as overrides and bonds. So when school districts identified the need and get the support of their community to go above and beyond their budgets, it could be in the form of an M&O override like ours at 9%, or it could be in the form of a bond like ours and $23 million and change. Then you set a secondary tax rate to pay those initiatives back. Excuse me. One factor that we use annually to calculate our tax rate is the assessed valuation. Because the primary tax rate will react to the assessed valuation. From last year to this year, we saw a 5% increase in the assessed valuation for the properties within our school district. Just a little bit of where the formula dollars come from. Like I said, the first step is to identify that budget limit, which we already approved, right? And then we determine how much are we going to collect from our local constituents versus how much we're going to receive from state aid. In our district, to give you an idea, 74% comes from the state and 26% comes from our local constituents from that primary tax rate.
Would that be the property taxes and stuff?
Primary rate.
Primary, okay, thank you.
This is the split for the primary.
Okay.
Right, because the secondary is fully funded out of local taxpayers, right? You do not see a portion from the state that is 100% funded by your local taxpayers. Now, so what programs do we have linked and associated with the secondary tax rate? In here for our district, we run the 9% M&O override, which allows us to exceed our budget limit in the M&O by $2.4 million. So now what's the cost of that? The cost to our taxpayers for this coming year is 0.8811, okay? And the recommendation here is to offset the cost of that override by a little bit over $420,000 with cash on hand, right? When we put together the voter information pamphlet, the projected, the full projected cost of the 9% override is 1.19. So we are way below that projection. On the other hand, we have our bond, right? It's time to pay back for all those constructions, the pool, all of those enhancements that we now have for our community. And our bond payment for next year is $1.4 million. And the cost associated to collect the revenue that we need in order to make that payment would be to impose a tax rate of 0.5918. Okay. So now again, when we did the voter information pamphlet, the projection was that the tax rate was going to be 1.68. So we're way below. On the other hand, as members of PIMA CTED, we have to impose a levy for our participation in PIMA CTED, and that is actually defined by statute. ARS 15-395 tells us that we have to set it at 0.05. So no more, no less. That's what it is on that one. So if we compare the last year's tax rate to this year's tax rate, you can see that the primary rate last year was set at 3.5574. For next year, we're looking at a primary rate of 3.4083. Okay,
Which is lower.
so why is that? Remember that if the assessed valuation increases, then the primary rate will decrease. So that's the reason why you see that fluctuation in the primary.
And just to clarify, because this is and we will educate the public on this. So they're gonna say, well, the rate went down, but their assessed value went up. So most likely their tax is going to increase.
Yes.
Because their valuation went up. Even though the rate went down, their value is higher, so they may see an increase in their tax rate. And so they're always like, well, how is it possible if the rate went down? But it's because their valuation went up, so their value is worth more, and so it will increase. So we have to educate the public on that every time we go out, in which we will, just so that because that's the question we always get. Well, how is it possible if the rate went down and I'm paying more? It's because the valuation went up, and as Ms. Brown said, it has that inverse effect.
Yeah.
And the county does that as far as evaluation, or?
Yes, assessed value is.
Oh, you mean to define the assessment?
Yes.
Yes, that is the role of the county assessors.
Like Mr. Fanning.
Well, no. He will be the one voting on whether they accept our recommendation.
Or tax rate
Our tax rate.
of the assessed valuation for the county, that is.
Assessor.
Of the.
Assessor,
Mr. Fanning.
And we do have individuals in our community that request to have their valuation reduced. So, and that happens, so that's something that may affect that as well, but for us, we set it based on what they report the value to us, and then that's what we make that recommendation on.
Yeah, so in other words, if a person wants to sell their house, they can sell it for more now. Is that the way? Because their house costs more per se.
That's value.
The market,
And I know the market right now,
homes for selling your home.
yeah.
It's totally different.
Totally different, I know.
Value for tax.
For tax reasons, it's completely, okay.
It's always going to be by far less
Mhm.
for setting for the tax rate
Uh-huh.
than when it comes to actually selling.
Selling a house, okay, all right, okay, thank you.
And you want it that way.
Mhm.
You don't want to be taxed probably at the market rate.
No.
Of the house.
No, probably not, yeah.
Most of the time, you don't want that.
Okay, thank you.
Now let's take a look at the secondary rate. And the secondary rate, this is where we see a slight increase. I'm gonna walk you through why we see that increase. So last year, the secondary rate was 1.297. And that was the sum of the override, paying back the bond, and or 5 cents for the JTIP. Okay? Now, this year, the secondary rate is at 1.5229. When the override is at 0.8811. And then the debt service went down because our bond payment went down last year. And then the JTIP remains constant at 0.05. So why is it that the override rate increased? Remember that I share with you right there. Look at the first bullet. Our district has been buying down the cost or the rate of our override. With that cash that we have on hand. Okay. Obviously that cash is not gonna be there forever, right? So we are going to start to decrease how much we can offset or buy down that rate. Because we're eventually going to run out of that debt. Okay, so that's why you see the offset amount of 423,000 is less than what I used last year. So that's the reason why the override rate increased slightly.
And that money again is being reduced. And so we're trying to make it as long as possible to offset for as long as possible so that our tax rates can stay stable. Because what we don't want is because we could continue to pay for it all. And then all of a sudden that cash will be gone. And then now you're paying the full 9%. And so we don't want to do that to our constituents. We want to try to keep it as balanced as possible.
Sum of both rates, right? The combined tax rate for the district last year was 4.8544. For this year, it's 4.9312. So it's a variance of 0.0768. It's not a significant increase, but it is an increase.
It is a little.
Not on the primary rate. Important to recognize that. Not in paying back the bond, not in the participation in the JDED. It's how we're managing the cash flow. Questions there?
And this is the part that we're going to be educating our.
Yes, so, yeah,
right?
we-
That
we-
is the part that they need to understand. Cause I understand it now, the way you broke it up, now I get it, okay? Yeah, and this is what a lot of people don't get, they're like, but like you said, but why?
Yeah, we will share this information. There's all the different positive things happening with the district, but we try to educate about our fiscal responsibility and how we utilize our funds. I think it's very important for the community to know. And one of the main ways that they question is tax rates,
Tax rate.
because that's what they put.
Yeah.
That's their money into the pot. And so we want to make sure we're educating them, not only this is why the rates are, but then we have a second part of this presentation is how are we using those funds? And like for the pool or for what educational reasons, what we're doing with personalized learning, all the different things that we're doing. So we educate them on that side of it as well.
That makes it really confusing, Ms. Vasquez, for the taxpayer is that we're just one of the entities in the tax bill.
Yeah.
We have our friendly friends from the fire districts, they're also part of that.
They're also part of that, huh?
Then we have the county and then we have, so it's hard, it's
Yeah.
hard for our constituents to really understand.
Really understand.
And it's
It is.
trying to.
Impact.
The arrow got on top of. I'm sorry. Just trying to compare a homeowner, right? Just only looking at the tax rate associated with the school district. In last fiscal year, if their home value was, and that is the average home value as it's listed in the assessor's rolls of 180,556. And then you apply the formula of the, and you take it all the way down. Their annual tax bill for the school district was 876.51. We're gonna take that same homeowner and we're going to increase the value of the property. What did I say? By 5%. So that home value went up. And then I'm gonna run it through the formula, applying the tax rates that we're recommending for this new year. And now their tax bill for the school district went from 876 to 934.88. A lot of numbers in this graph.
Yeah.
I just want you to look at the line and the way we've been managing that tax rate for the district. Our goal is to level that tax rate to not have peaks. And so that we can try to be as level as possible.
And Ms. Brown and I are very, very proud when we go out to do this presentation. When I started in 2014, you can see what the tax rate has done. Our work together is trying to really be fiscally responsible for our community and keep the rates as low as possible, while providing as quality of education as we possibly can.
So a lot of question that I get quite often is like, you mentioned dead cash. Like, how do you build dead cash, right? Give me that trick. It's like, well, technically no one should have dead cash, right? But what happened here, and this starts in 2004, but if I were to expand this graph and take it back into the late 90s, this district's tax rate was approaching the 9 point something. Imagine the size of the operation back in those days. No buffer, right?
Just.
Imagine the assessed valuation outside and just look around. So what was happening back then was that the school district had a very, very high tax rate for the operation. And remember that we can only spend up to our budget limit. So in essence, it was building some cash reserves. That when I came on board, I decided to gradually start using them. And then when we decided to go for the first override, then we really started to use some of that dead cash. Because there's not a lot we can do. I cannot turn that dead cash into additional budget capacity. That is just not allowable. So the only way that you can use that dead cash is to buy down your tax rates. In essence, you're giving it back to your community.
And if you take it all the way back to where it started, was 1984 when equalization came into, where they said that there's only a few districts, I think, like Paradise Valley and some other that actually fully fund based on their tax base, because you need to be the have and have nots. And Tubac was probably one of our haves in our community that had a very high tax base and was fully funding schools. And then when we combined the districts 3 and 5, it gave us additional cash as well. So I mean, it's a big history lesson, but it's allowed us now to be fiscally responsible and utilize that fund for as long as we can. And it won't last forever. I mean, it goes down every year. And at one point, I don't know if the board remembers, but when we first started our first override, we were actually fully funding the entire override at that point, which I know our constituents were very happy with. But then we realized, oh, that's going to run out very fast, and then we're going to see that big cliff. And so we decided to then pull back and do 50%, and we'll start to go to 40% and look at how we can, again, stabilize the tax rate.
This slide, I really want people to pay attention to this slide, because I think a question that we will get as we release our tax rates and as they start to get their tax bills, and as they start to pay more for their tax bills, they'll say, it's probably to pay back for what happened with the county treasurer. I want you to, if you're approached by a constituent, the loss from county treasurer is not factored into the calculation of the tax rate. Okay. Now, we're not there just yet, right? We'll have to wait to see how much money we recover. And this is going to take a couple of years, if not more. And then maybe at one point, me or my successor is going to come to you and it's going to tell you, this time we're going to have to, levy for what we didn't recuperate. Maybe not, but it is important to know that as part of today's tax rate recommendation, the loss at the county treasurer is not factored. So where is it? Let's take a look at where we have it right now. So the loss allocation for our district, those $14 million, have been recorded in Fund 565. Fund 565 is the litigation recovery fund. Okay. And we've made the decision. I've had discussions with my auditor, with legal, with my superintendent, that we will keep the loss in Fund 565 until we are done with recuperating the funds. At that point, we will then move anything that we don't recuperate either to M&O, and then the levy will take effect. If it happens like that. But in the meantime, we are going to park the loss to make it very, very visible in Fund 565. Okay. So that's the third bullet. That's the second bullet. That's where it is today. Now, the third bullet is any unrecovered funds will be transferred to the operating or capital fund maybe 2-3 years down the road. And then at that point, the district will evaluate whether it will be included to recover any remaining. So let's take a look at the total reported loss allocation is 14 million. The cash that we had in that fund, the litigation and recovery. And just to give you an idea, I was like, what deposit in that fund, right? Remember when sometimes you impose the clause in our contracts if someone leaves their contract, and then you assess liquidated damages.
Liquidated damages. That's
It
where
goes into the litigation recovery fund. So we were very, very happy with $82,000 in our favor until They gave us a loss allocation and that brought the balance to a negative of 13,950,000. It's the cash that we had in hand. And then we got the first disbursement of recovery funds, yes, of $1.8 million, bringing the negative down to $12.1 million.
So we did get money from
No, the
whatever
first
whatever
recovery.
they recovered after they sold and whatever?
They gave back $5 million. And they distributed between and our share of that was 1.8. And we put it into the 565 fund.
Over that.
Keep it all in one fund.
Because again, we're not accepting it in a sense that we're just,
Yeah.
we're putting it in that fund because we don't necessarily agree with
Exactly.
the amounts or until we.
Yeah, and it doesn't show anywhere else in our, M and O and the capital and all that stuff, okay.
If I move
It could be
this,
separate.
if I move this negative to, let's say M&O, Ms. Vasquez, I'm going to put our operating fund in the red. And then what's gonna happen, I might need to register warrants. Right, so that I can continue to issue payments to vendors and employees. And then the district would have to incur a cost for registering warrants, which then turns into a levy the following fiscal year. It's very complicated.
Exactly.
It's very, very complicated. And because this amount will be fluctuating, it's not good practice right now to recognize it in any of our funds. It was I have to tell you, it was the auditor's recommendation to put it in the override or capital right now. And I talked to them and I disagree with them, and yes, they will give me an audit finding. We're keeping it in 565. But they gave me an audit finding last year for what happened at the treasurers that I have no control. So I'll take an audit finding to keep this very visible and under control in a separate fund.
Ms. De La Riva?
Can you go back a couple of slides? Maybe you can just explain, how do you transfer, unrecovered funds with that one, huh? I'm having trouble understanding that. Unrecovered funds will be transferred into the,
So let's say that in 3 years, you give you the final payback from the county. And that leaves us with $4 million still in the red.
okay.
And at that point, from lawsuits to the receivership process, everything, we have exhausted all the lines. And at the end, we didn't fully recover the 14. We only recovered 10. I'm still gonna have a negative $1 million in 565, which at that point, I need to recognize in one of our operating funds. So I'm going to do a transfer, right, with the journal entry. Or I'm going to move that negative cash of $4 million to more likely M&O. I mean, we would have to, at that point, to see where we are with cash on hand in our operating funds, either in M&O or in capital. And then we do that.
And we take it as a loss, of course. I mean, it's definitely a loss. In other words, if we could have bought something, okay, if we needed to buy something, well, guess what? Now we can't because we're at a deficit right there. I mean,
At that point, Ms. Vasquez, the
I know.
district is gonna have to make a decision whether to absorb the loss. We might have cash in hand, we may not.
mm,
Or to assess a levy.
levy, okay.
Yeah. To recuperate those $4 million. Or I've been talking to the county where they could potentially assess the levy of anything that we recover on our behalf.
That's a possibility.
That's an option.
An option, I mean, it's up in the air, but
It's
it's an option, okay.
And that's important of why we have all the tolling agreements in
Yes,
case
the
we want to
tolling.
pursue any litigation at that time or figure out, again, that's why we're in the wait and see. We want to sit back, let this run its course. See what happens with the lawsuit, see how much we end up recovering. And then at that point, then we'll have to, with the board, come together and then make a decision of what our next steps will be, what and how we absorb that loss, if there is any remaining loss. Or how are we going to approach that?
Yeah.
So you-
How are we gonna move forward
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
with that? Okay.
So the other thing is that there's much, I wouldn't say confusion, but I guess confusion or different ways to approach right, how you're dealing with this loss. Our district is, like I said, identified, recognize the loss in Fund 565, and we're gonna leave it there. It's not impacting our operation as it is. This is a cash situation. It's not a budget limit. Yes, please follow me because that's very important. When you approved at the last board meeting, the budget limit. It's a budget limit, but I could care less if we have the cash or not. We have the legal authority to spend up to that limit. Very different for other entities. Mr. Beach Clean. For fire to. Very different. Some districts can only spend up to the cash that they have in hand, and it's different. School finance is very unique. So we can spend up to that budget limit. Right? And even when the time comes to recognize this loss in one of our levy funds, the district will not have to reduce a budget limit to recognize the loss. Unless the board at that time decides that's what they want to do. You don't have to. You do not have to.
Okay.
Questions?
Mr. Guerrero?
No questions.
Mr. Beach?
That's good, thank you.
Yeah. So if I'm understanding you, when we approve the budget runs all our facilities, everything in our school district. So that's set year after year. When this, what is it, the 565, say we get -6 million or whatever, goes into our account, who accounts for the accounting error? The county, or do we?
We will. It's our books.
So now we account for the accounting error, but isn't that gonna affect our bond ratings or? We got triple A's?
The bond rating, because we just survived a bond rating. As we were going through all of this, I don't have a word to this.
I know.
We received that S&P, Standard & Poor's, was going to review our rating. It was like review, that we were up for review or bond rating. I was like, oh great, we had the best timing of all. So I started to working with our bond counsel. I started to prepare. I gather information. I went through interviews after interviews, meetings after meetings, and actually our bond rating remained the same. It did not go down.
So we're still A-rated.
We're still A-rated.
But is that prior to?
They knew. We fully disclosed.
Okay.
We fully disclosed.
And they do have a footnote in our, that this happened to us at no fault of our own, but that we are still, because of our fiscal responsibility, a very viable investable school district.
Now, why wouldn't the county take responsibility and say it was their budgeting error and figure out what the state, to put something in place that the districts, the fire districts, et cetera, were at no fault? Don't know.
Well, but that would mean that then they would admit fault.
And they won't.
And at this point, no one is admitting.
Nobody admitting.
And that's, I think that's to be honest, Mr. Beach, I think that's the reason that they have not accepted that. I mean, they're hoping again that these litigation things happen and are able to recoup. But at some point, somebody's gonna have to say that they're responsible.
They're responsible.
And I don't think the county wants to do that yet.
It would change the legal landscape for them.
And again, that's
We-
why
it should.
we have the tolling agreements, so that as this runs its course, at the very end, then we can decide with the board, hey, do we want to go for some litigation if we're not satisfied with where we're at that point? So.
Well, thank you, Ms. Brown. Yep. Interesting.
Anything else?
No,
Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, just thank you so much, okay, for being so on top of everything. You and your, your group and whoever it is that, that helps you out and whatever. I know it's mostly you, but you've really saved us. I mean, really, really. We're at a place right now where we are good, right? We're at a place where we're good. Besides what this happened, but this, like we say, this is no fault of our own, no fault of yours. Nobody else had anything to do with it. And again, somebody does have to take responsibility, but we know how, politics work and whatever, and probably nobody's ever going to say, well, it was my fault for not doing this or for not doing that, okay? But, I'm just really happy that our district, our schools are in a good place, and that our students and our teachers and everybody that's working here, okay, isn't affected because of somebody's bad decisions or whatever, it's just crazy, but thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Brown. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.
And just to, follow up, I know there's always, as Mr. Beach was talking about school districts, with enrollment and things. Ms. Brown, on top of our tax rates, has always made sure budgetarily that we are fiscally responsible and that we are, in very good standing. We have, like I said, I always commend the board that, the things that we were able to do this year with the 5% raise that many districts will not be able to do. Not cutting positions, just looking at efficiencies. How can we adjust positions and make sure that we're moving efficiently as a district, absorbing the insurance cost. I mean, there has just been a lot of things that we're able to do financially this year that other districts are not. And that's because we're always looking a year ahead, if not 3 to 5 years ahead of how we're preparing. And so I thank Ms. Brown for that. And again, our constituents see that through our tax rates. So,
exactly. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. So do we have, an action, recommended action? Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Motion to approve the 2025-2026 taxes as presented.
Second.
Yes. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Next one, subject B, ASBA 2026 proposed political agenda. Mr. Verdugo.
Oh, yes, you received an email from Angie regarding the proposed ASBA agenda. And so the recommendation is to just approve that unless there are recommended changes that you would like to add to the political agenda for recommendations. And then also just noted in there that the delegate is Ms. Vasquez and the alternate is Mr. Beach.
Mr. Beach. Okay, alrighty. Okay, any questions, Ms. Alma de la Riva?
No.
Mr. Guerrero?
No questions.
None? Mr. Beach? I don't have any either. So the recommended action is motion to approve in whole or in part the draft of 2026 political agenda of the Arizona School Board Association, which is ASBA, and direct the district's delegate to the ASBA Delegate Assembly to represent the board's determined position.
And I would say that the whole versus the part.
The whole?
Yes.
As a whole. Okay, no part. Okay, as a whole.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay? Okay, ayes have it, motion passes, okay? Mr. Beach, you're with me, okay?
Yes.
Remember that, okay? All right, moving on, subject, Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District policies, Mr. Verdugo.
No updates at this time, thank you.
Okay, so then there's no recommendation on that one. Moving on, subject D, propose and prioritize topics and possible dates and times for future board meetings, Mr. Verdugo.
Yes, I'd like to request for a special board meeting on Thursday, July 31st at 8 a.m. telephonically for hiring purposes. It's the day or the Thursday before school starts, just because
Okay, so that would be
have
what
some
date?
final hiring that needs to, that'd be Thursday, July 31st, 8 a.m. We can get 3, and again, it's telephonic, so if we can get 3 board members
Okay.
to participate
All right.
telephonically, that would be appreciated.
Alrighty, not a problem. July 31st at 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Okay, at 8 a.m. I will be there for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, and then what else? Moving on, consent agenda. Approval of the consent agenda. Says any matter on the consent agenda will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed as regular agenda item or items upon the request of any board member. Ms. De La Riva, you have any questions on that? Mr. Guerrero?
No questions.
No, Mr. Beach? I have none either. So recommended action is to motion to approve and accept and ratify the consent agenda as presented. Okay, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes, and we are adjourned, right? All right. I adjourned this meeting at 5:59. I'm getting better, guys. Okay.